Introduction to Recovery of Possession of Movable and Immovable Property in India. The recovery of possession of movable and immovable property in India is a critical aspect of property law. It involves legal provisions and procedures for reclaiming both movable and immovable properties. Understanding these processes is essential for individuals and entities involved in property transactions or disputes in India. Definition and types of movable and immovable property. Movable property refers to assets that can be moved, such as vehicles, jewelry, cash. It is tangible and can be physically possessed and transferred from one place to another. Immovable property includes lands, buildings, and any permanent structures attached to the land. It cannot be moved and it is often associated with owner's rights to real estate. Legal provisions for recovery of possession. 1. Property rights law. Property recovery is governed by a set of laws and statutes that define the rights and obligations related to the possession of ownership. 2. Civil Procedure Code. The Civil Procedure Code contains provisions for initiating legal actions to recover possession of movable and immovable properties through civil courts. 3. Specialized Property Acts. Specific laws exist to address the recovery of certain types of property, such as the Transfer of Property Act for immovable property transactions. Recovery of possession of movable property. Procedures and remedies. 1. Legal notice. The process often begins with sending a legal notice to the party in possession demanding the return of the movable property. 2. Judicial intervention. If the demand is not met, the affected party may file a suit in the appropriate civil court seeking a remedy such as possession or compensation. 3. Execution of orders. If the court rules in favor of the aggrieved party, the execution of the court order is carried out to recover possession. Recovery of possession of immovable property, procedures and remedies. Eviction notices. Landlords or property owners may issue eviction notices compelling the occupants to vacate the premises. Litigation. If negotiation fails, the legal action can be initiated through court proceedings aiming to obtain possession of the immovable property. Enforcement of decree. Upon obtaining a favorable decree, it can be enforced through court appointment mechanisms securing the possession as per the court's order. Role of courts and tribunals in recovery process. Judicial review, interim orders, enforcement mechanisms. Challenges and limitations in the recovery of possession. 1. Protracted legal procedures. 2. Resistance from occupants. 3. Jurisdictional issues. Protracted legal procedures. Recovery process can be prolonged due to complex legal formalities, leading to delays in reclaiming possession. Resistance from occupants. Occupants may resist vacating the property, necessitating additional legal proceedings to enforce possession orders. Jurisdiction issues. Disputes over jurisdictional authority and ambiguity in property rights can complicate the recovery process. Recent developments and amendments in the law. 1. Digitalization initiatives. The integration of digital platforms from filing and processing property recovery cases has streamlined the legal procedures. 2. Legal reforms. Amendments to property and civil laws have aimed to address inefficiencies and enhance the effectiveness of the recovery process. Judicial precedents. Landmark judgments and interpretations have influenced the evolving landscape of property possession and its legal implications. There are famous case laws Harshad Chimanlal Modi versus DLF Universal Limited and ANR 2005 7 SCC 791. The case of Harshad Chimanlal Modi versus DLF Universal ANR 2005 7 SCC 791 revolves around a dispute between a plot buyer Harshad Chimanlal Modi and the developer DLF Universal Limited concerning the purchase of a residential plot in Gurgaon, Haryana. The primary issue in question is the validity of the termination of the plot buyer agreement by the developer and the legal implications of termination. Judgment. The Supreme Court ruled in the favor of buyer Harsha Chimanlal Modi, declaring the termination of the agreement by DLF Universal Limited as illegal and improper. The developer was directed to fulfill its contractual obligations and deliver possession of the residential plot to the buyer, setting an important precedent for real estate disputes. Another case law, Vishnudat Sharma versus Board of Revenue Uttarakhand and ORS 2015 8 SCC 521. Vishnudat Sharma versus Board of Revenue Uttarakhand and ORS is a case concerning the validity of land acquisition and the right fair compensation for the acquired land. The main issue revolves around the acquisition of the petitioner's land by the government and the subsequent dispute over the compensation offered. Judgment. The Supreme Court favored the petitioner, ruling that the compensation was not in with the law. The court ordered authorities to reconsider compensation based on the land's fair market value, emphasizing the importance of fair compensation and transparency in land acquisition.